What's going on, y'all? Psych Perspectives, GeoFlux here. And I'm at the laundromat. Finishing up, drying clothes. That's what I'm doing right now. And it's snowing again, even though it was 50 degrees yesterday. Climate change is real. And it could literally be 50 degrees one day and then a snowstorm the next day. You never know. But this is my last little load out of the dryer. About to fold these up and take my behind home because I gotta get right back up in 6 hours or so and go back to work. So what I wanna, it's hot in here. Take this off for a minute. What I wanna talk about real quick in this video is just how, I'm the only one in here for now, so I'll take this off for a moment. I just want to talk about how, make it make sense. Why are we working 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week? 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 plus hour days. 40 or more hours per week. I mean, day in and day out on the grind. Yet, we have nothing to show for it because we're not being paid living wages. And it really begs to differ. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with us? Especially in the USA, in the United States of America, with the 3 Ks. What's wrong with us? Because when you look at other countries, they're out here doing full-fledged general labor strikes. And we're just sitting up going along with the flow. And it's like every other country, the citizens are protesting, rallying, rioting, demanding accountability from their government officials, elected officials. And what are we doing? We're steady going to work to make somebody else rich and wealthy so somebody else can be living high on the hog. Meanwhile, you get paid Friday and you're broke Saturday. And it's not because you're buying a bunch of clothes or you're buying a bunch of shoes or you're buying a bunch of, electronics or you're going out to eat or you're going on these elaborate vacations. No, it's literally you paying the bills, and that's leading you to being broke because we're not getting paid much. Most people's wages and salaries do not reflect the cost of living and definitely don't take inflation into consideration, let alone someone's education, someone's work experience. Okay, it's 2023 and we still getting paid like it's 2002. Let's just keep it real. Okay, a lot of these wages and salaries have not kept up with productivity, the cost of living, or inflation. Okay? And that's why it just seems like you're going up Schitt's Creek without a paddle on a consistent basis. No matter how much you work, a lot of us are working more than one job. Okay, let's just keep it real. A lot of us have 2 and 3 jobs, side hustles, doing things underneath the table, trying to start a business, running a side business, got this shift, got that shift, taking care of family, taking care of kids, taking care of our aging parents or the elderly or other people. We're ripping and running. We're literally burning the candle at both ends, and we're not going anywhere. There is no upward mobility. I don't really see, again, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with us? Okay. Another thing that doesn't make sense is, where's the stimulus checks? We haven't had a stimulus check in basically 2 years since 2021. And now, more than ever, this is the perfect time to send out a stimulus check, considering we're in a recession. Inflation has been beating people's ass for a year, and it continues to beat people's ass. more people are going into poverty and becoming homeless every single day in the USA, the so-called richest and most wealthiest and most powerful country in the world, that can't take care of its own damn citizens. Okay? People can't afford food. People can't afford to get eggs and bacon. People can't afford to keep shelter or roof over their head. Put gas in their tank. Gas is steadily fluctuating. We haven't seen gas under $3 a gallon in how long now? I mean, it's $3.59 a gallon right here. And it was $3.09 a gallon last week, but just that quick, there's been a 50-cent increase. So again, and another thing what I don't understand about these jobs is they expect you to have reliable transportation while not paying you enough for reliable transportation. We waste 40 or more hours per week, 8 or more hours per day at these jobs. And yet we're still paying for shelter. We're still paying rent or a mortgage for a place that we're not even at because we're wasting so much of our lives at a job. And it's like, what are we paying rent for? What are we paying mortgage for? Why are we paying to have internet at our houses when we're not even there? I'm just being honest. Like, shit does not make any sense anymore. And I'm just sick and tired of acting like, everything is okay when it's not. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful and thankful. I'm blessed and privileged. I recognize my blessings and my privileges because there are people who have it worse off than me, and there are people who have it way better than me. Okay? And there's people in the same predicament as me. So I'm not saying this to be like a pity party or to say that I'm not grateful or thankful, because again, I have a lot of privileges, a lot of blessings, and I recognize my privileges and my blessings, okay? And at the same time, I also recognize I work my ass off and I deserve to make a quality living, and I'm not doing that. I'm sitting up here making somebody else rich, I mean, at the end of the day. And that's what the problem with a lot of us is, that we spend a lot of our time making people that are already well off more well off, and then we don't get anything out of it in return. I mean, where I work, every time you turn around, they're constantly bragging about applying for grants, and these grants are 6 figures and up. You got grants that are $1 million grants, multiple $1 million grants. Yet, this same place can't figure out, hey, maybe we can set 10 to 20% of that to administrative costs, so we can actually provide our employees with a cost of living adjustment, raises, promotions, actually pay a living wage. No, we're not going to do that, but we're going to brag left and right about the $1 million grants that we're applying for. Meanwhile, you can't even afford to get furniture. You can't even afford to get a washer and a dryer because you don't even get $1,200 every 2 weeks. And it's 23, my bad, 23. Jordan here. So, and then they wonder why, right? Because now it's this whole, they're calling it bare minimum Mondays, quiet quitting, whatever it may be. And I'm like, well, again, if you're going to pay minimum wage, if you're going to pay poverty wages, you really shouldn't be expecting people to go above and beyond. For what? You're not giving us an incentive to go above and beyond. And let's just keep it real. When you go above and beyond, what typically happens? I'll wait. When you go above and beyond, what typically happens? You don't get rewarded with a raise, a promotion, a bonus. Some of us do, but very rarely is that the case. Most of the time, instead of a pay raise, a bonus, better benefits, instead of that, you just get rewarded with what? More work, more responsibilities. So again, there's no incentive for people to work their asses off and go above and beyond just so they can have 5 more responsibilities added to their already overworked load. Again, there's no incentive. You know, we're showing up to work to live check to check, to be in poverty, to go without, to stay in debt. Not really seeing the point of working a job if I can't get ahead. And I know a lot of people who are watching this video, who may watch this video, is you probably feel exactly the same way I do. Okay? Again, the quality of life for a lot of people has deplenished over the past 3 to 4 years, and then for a lot of people, they started off with a bad quality of life when they were born. So some people have never had a decent quality of living. Some of us have had experiences of a better quality of living. And then some of us have just seen that be completely dismantled over the past 3 to 4 years. So, you know, depending on where you stand, you get where I'm going with this. So, it's just, it's tiring, it's frustrating. I don't see an end, right? Like, for a lot of us, it is what it is. We have to go into different fields, different careers. A lot of us that went into social sciences or human services, government, nonprofit, social work, etc. A lot of us that went into these types of fields, we're in a situation where we know we can't continue working in these fields. And this is exactly why you're going to continue to see labor shortages. You know, number one, we're still in a pandemic and we lost well over 1 million plus people in the USA alone. Now think about the 1 million plus people that have died across the world. Yeah. Okay, so like you lost a nice chunk of your population who could and was working. So you're going to see a lot more labor shortages, and that's probably going to continue for another 10 to 25 years, to be completely honest. Okay, then it doesn't help when people are able to see for themselves, probably not in your best interest to go in certain fields if you're just going to be making poverty pay. So you see why people aren't interested in being teachers. Who the hell wants to be a teacher making $40,000 a year or less and then have to be sitting up here worrying about getting shot up at the damn school? Or the damn students sitting up throwing chairs and trying to break your leg? Or the parents coming in and cussing you out because you're holding their useless ass child accountable? Yeah, I'm going there. It's just, you don't pay people enough for any of the mess that people are going through. And again, you went into all of that debt to make poverty pay? Again, there's no incentive for college in this day and age. Again, unless you're going into something that's very niche, very specific, requires a specific training and skill and intellectual framework, you know, such as being a medical doctor, a nurse practitioner, you know, respiratory therapist, you know, licensed practical nurse, LPN, RN, you know, engineering, mathematics, science, technology, computers, something of that nature. If you're not going into stuff like that, it doesn't make sense to waste your time going to college, in my humble opinion and lived experiences. Again, I hope somebody listens to what I'm saying so you don't have to go through what I'm going through and what so many people are going through, where we went to college and a lot of us regret going. I mean, to me, the worst thing I did was go back to get my master's. That was dumb. I had no business doing that. You know, hindsight's 2020. Again, if I could either go back 13 years ago, if not, at least go back 9 years ago and was like, okay, you got your bachelor's, that's it. Don't go back. Because a lot of these master's degrees are useless, and unless it's going to come with a guaranteed pay increase or a pay trajectory that's going to increase, it's not worth going. Because again, what are you getting out of this? You're getting more debt and you're wasting more years of your life that you will not get back. And that's the harsh code reality. And that's why I just don't recommend it. I don't. Like, a lot of people would do better at going into a skilled trade. Like, I'm looking at HVAC, electrician, plumbers, things of that nature, welders, carpenters, things of that nature. You know, go into mechanics, automotive mechanics, etc. Go into a skilled trade. There's a lot of apprenticeships programs where you could go for free, join a union. If you have a job that has a union, I recommend getting in the union, because again, that's how you're going to make a decent living. Can't really do that with these non-union jobs, because there's no support for the working person. That's just it. Ain't no love in the heart of the city. Because I'm telling you, there's no love for the working man, working woman, working person. You know, again, they expect us to slave in and out, work our butts to the bone, constantly catch COVID and every other damn disease and virus, have you constantly stressed out. You don't have access to healthy, suitable food. Everything is high fructose syrup and sugar this and sodium that. You're eating science projects. You're drinking water that's contaminated. You're driving on potholes. Your kids don't have decent schools to go to. But they want to keep telling you about how great this place is. I'm just saying, man, like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with us? Something has got to give.